Hi, welcome. Welcome to the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Kristin, and I'm the Spiritual Director and Senior Minister here. Currently, we are 100% virtual, which means all of our offerings are online. So please check out our website for up-to-date information. And if you're new to our community, please know that we are radically inclusive and spiritually progressive. Radically inclusive means that everyone is welcome. So if you've ever felt that you were turned away from a religious organization or a spiritual organization because you were different, or turned away because you didn't feel like you were being accepted for who you are, please check out our website and find out what we believe and who we are, and see if it's a good connection and a good match. If so, then reach out and we'd be happy to explore more with you. This month of November, we are talking about living as compassionate conduits. Living as compassionate beings, not only for ourselves, but for everything else and everyone else on this planet, our brothers, our sisters, and our siblings. What would it be like to choose to live a life of being compassionate? What would that look like? Anyway, that's what we're doing this month. I'm excited that you're here for service. It's great to be here with you. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Russell and Michael Gayle as we open up in sweet surrender. So if you're feeling up to it, if you're feeling the groove and the move, like we're all together in one room, stand up, dance, and sing. Take it away, Jennifer and Michael.
Good morning, Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. It's so wonderful to be with you today. I'm Jennifer Russell.
I'm Michael Gayle.
And we are delighted to be sharing this time with you. Let's start by opening our hearts in sweet surrender. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I'm opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. Oh, and if you would just join me by putting your hand on your heart and recognizing this beautiful center of the universe that is the power and the presence and the love of your divinity. There is only one intelligence acting here. There is no other. And let's just open our hearts in deep compassion to ourselves for a moment here. I love you. I adore you. And let's open up our hearts to each other. I recognize you. I see you. You are the light of the world. You are a conduit of compassion.
Good morning. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day this is to be together. This is our affirmation, a very beautiful, very powerful affirmation. And so say this with me and really center this into your heart. I am and will stand for love in this world, no matter who is listening. I am listening, and I am engaged. Let's do that again. I am and will stand for love in this world, no matter who is listening. I am listening, and I am engaged. Oh, just take those words into your breath, into your heart, into your body, and into your day. Have a blessed day, loves. And so it is. Hello, loves. What a beautiful day for us to come together. It's a good day. It's God's day. You might hear the laughter of the children in the background. You see the beauty of this tree as the sun is shining through it. And so let's just settle in for a moment and pray. Pray for all of the good stuff in our life. To know that there is truly only one thing happening here. And it is as strong and as sturdy and as beautiful as this tree, and that is God. Oh, the magnificence of God. And how truly grateful I am to know that I am one. I am one with God, and so are you. Just like the branches that are connected to the trunk of this tree, we are all connected in unity, but beautifully unique. And so today I speak this blessing into who you are, into your beautiful divine presence as the expression of the one. I speak this blessing into your life, into your homes, into your hearts, into your relationships, into your finances, for all is good. My good is my God, and my God is my good. I speak a blessing for Reverend Kristin and the message that she is sharing with us today. It is too an expression of the divine presence. You know, the beauty that we hear in the music of Jennifer and Michael, even the laughter that you can hear in the background of children playing their music, is a beautiful expression of the joy of life, the child in all of our hearts. And I speak a blessing for the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living as its trunk is firmly rooted in the one, and its branches are reaching high, high into the sky. We are one. We are love, we are abundance, we are joy, we are wisdom, we are truth. We are the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. And so I speak this prayer right into the law, knowing it is already done in the mind of God. And together we say, and so it is.
I am a center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am a center of creation, fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am a tree rooted in fullness. I am a center of creation, fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am complete, living in wholeness. I am a center of creation, fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God.
Hello, everyone. It's Reverend Kristin, and it is November 15th, 2020. And I'm so glad that you're joining us here today for service or at another time. Before we get into what we're talking about today, I do want to mention a couple of things. First, we had our second week of our coat drive, and we are collecting new and slightly used coats and sweatshirts for the traditionally unhoused students, so K through 12 in the Ventura County. Last year there were 8,500 children that fit in that category, which means they were living in a car, or they were living at a shelter, or they were living at a campsite, or they were living in a space for one family and there's 4 families living in a home. It's a time of year where it's chilly. Think of a time where you were chilly, and it's a time to give. So on November 28th, we are having another drive-through. It's over here at our business office on Ponderosa Avenue. You just drive in, you have a mask, who's ever here, and I will be here as well, wearing a mask. You just let us know where, if the coats are in the trunk, pop the trunk and we will get the coats and add them to the pile. I would love, love, love to see you, and more importantly, the children out there would love to have something warm to wear. Next is, we're doing a dinner this Wednesday. It's called the Nines, and what the Nines means is you get to decide how much you want to dress up. If you would like to decorate the table, you provide a meal that you want to eat, and we all join each other in Zoom and have a meal together. Having a meal together and sharing stories and laughter and reconnecting with those that you haven't seen in quite a long time. This is a time where we have to work at connecting with others. And this is one way that you can do it monthly here at the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. I look forward to having you join me then. So it's this coming Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 via Zoom. The other thing that's coming up that's also part of the intro, if you missed it, is the forgiveness story. It's with Billy Shank, a practitioner here at the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. It is an online class. You do it for a week. All the information is available on the website. It's also been in the newsletter, but please click that link and sign up and take the time and gift yourself the gift of forgiveness. So this whole month we've been talking about living as compassionate conduits and what that means and how to do that. Today's talk title is How Engaged is God as Us? How engaged is God showing up as us? So we, in religious science, believe that there's only one thing call it Love, God, Spirit, Universe. And it lives through, in, and as each person, each animal, each plant on this universe. And our job is to awaken to that knowledge, to know that that is the truth, and then incorporate that knowingness or that gnosis into our day-to-day lives. So, and God is continuously evolving. So the more that I practice, the more that I study, the more that I move my feet out and live the values in this world, the more and more God I get to know. My relationship with God, my relationship with my business partner gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And the only way that Spirit, or the only way that God knows, is to work through us to bring the change that we want to see in this world, to bring our values forward, to speak our values into our world, our community, and speak those for a world that works for everyone. So being spiritual doesn't mean pulling away from the world. It doesn't mean going in a room and meditating, or going in a cave and meditating for 18 out of the 24 hours a day and the other 6 you sleep. It is about being spiritual, being the spiritual being that I am, that shows up as God as I walk through life, the same God that shows up as you walk through life, that it's about mastering it. It's about honing those skills, honing that knowledge, so we can master our thoughts and master our minds. That when we feel the negativity coming forth, or that something's happened in the world and we just want to be sucked into it, that we go back to our principle, we go back to our values, we go back to what we know, and then we step forth in that. It is also not pretending that nothing's happening in this world, that my world is so perfect, and when I go by things that don't look like a world that works for everyone, that I just ignore it. No, we have to open our eyes and see it. And yes, we can throw things at it to solve the immediate need, but long term, what is it that needs to happen, that actually needs to happen, so we can live our values? We can all live the values in our life. We don't need to see homeless and people being abused because of the color of their skin. So Ernest Holmes had this to say: we need not leave the world, for we may engage in all of its activities without being controlled by them. We may be in a world of affairs as masters of ourselves and of our minds. Now the part we changed the of ourselves and our minds. It used to read as not as slaves, but we've pulled it out and brought it to modern to the modern world. So things can be happening around us, to us, but we don't have to be drug around by that. So what is this doing? This is calling us to action. Calling us to action to do something. So as in the Bible, in Ezekiel 2:3-8, I am sending you to a rebellious nation. The people are obstinate and stubborn. Do not be afraid of what they say or be terrified by them. You must speak my words to them, whether they listen or fail to listen. But you listen to what I say to you. That's a lot. That's a lot right there. God came to Ezekiel. And God said, there was all this stuff going around, and God said, hey, I need you to speak up. I need you to speak up for the wrongs that are happening. And Ezekiel's like, I can't do that. People will just smash me. They'll send me away. People don't want to hear what I have to say or what you have to say. That word of bringing that word forth it's about love and it's not about hate. And to remember where we came from and to stand in that place and share that knowledge that we know. So in every story, we are every part of it. Just as Ezekiel, we are facing the same things today. We are seeing the same things, and we are being called again to action. We, you and me, all of us, are God watching the world and our country's events. And what do we see? We see hate. We see separateness. We see people calling people names just because they don't like what those people think. We might believe that we're right and somebody else is wrong. And what we've learned before is everybody's right, because I have my beliefs and I believe I'm right. And you might have polar opposite beliefs and you think you're right. So to bring two rights together, all we're going to do is bash heads. We're not going to be able to communicate. In a situation, and we see things happening in our world, we see things happening in our community that don't seem fair, that go against what our values are. And yet we feel like we can't speak. We can't speak the truth because the majority of people won't be able to hear it. And God told Ezekiel, not everybody's going to hear it. We shoot for 10%, people. If 10% of the people can hear what you're saying, you are making movement forward. But more importantly, as you speak it, you are standing up. You are standing up and reinforcing your belief with yourself, which is growing God even bigger from within. This idea of being afraid to speak up. Have you ever been around in a situation and something happened where people are facing injustices and fear takes over? Fear of just like what I talked about just a few minutes ago. It's happened to me. But we're at this time now where it seems like so much of this is happening like right in our neighborhoods, right to our neighbors, right to maybe you personally. And it's time to step up and be that change agent, to be the Ezekiel that God said, it's time. So there are so many people being killed because of the color of their skin. The idea that somebody is killed just because they don't look like me breaks my heart. It's an injustice and it's wrong. Rights being taken away for those, an example would be the LGBTQ community. Just because they love someone, and it might not look like a man-woman love, but they love someone, there is no difference in whether it's a man and a man or a man and a woman. If you have a problem with the idea of a man and a man living their love and in matrimony, look at yourself in the mirror. They're not asking you, hey, come be part of our marriage. They too want to live their life free of bondage. They want to live and have the same rights that we have. Why is there such a conflict over that? What needs to be stepped up and brought forth to make it so it's no longer an issue? Where people don't have to fight for their rights, where people don't have to fight in a way, a peaceful way, to turn their back, to walk away so they're not harmed because they are in a relationship, or a woman's in a relationship with another woman and someone outside decides that's wrong. So we bring it all together and we look at our values. That's not right. Another example is underserved communities. Oh, well, poor people live there. We're always going to have homelessness. Oh, they want to live that way. So we won't fund or we won't focus on that. We're just going to toss people over here so we don't have to look at it. My question is, what systematic change needs to happen so that's not our issue? Because again, we're taking it all back to a world that works for everyone, right? We have our planet, whether you believe in global warming or not. There's still problems happening because of the change in how we do things in our lives, how it affects others. So animal cruelty, global warming. It's really easy to talk to people that believe the same thing you do. Really easy. We can sit and we can gab and we can talk about mystic stuff and we can talk about the law and how it works. And we don't have to talk to each other that everything is about love because we already know that. The key here is to be able to stand up and have difficult conversations and putting them into action. And release the fear and inaction and begin to speak. Now, personally, I began to speak. I'm a minister. I speak a lot. But I was uncomfortable speaking what I believe. This is years ago. What I believe, and letting people that have known me my entire life see what I believe and hear what I believe. And what I found out was most of the time, like 90% of them, disappeared. Just like we go for the 10%. We are here to do a mighty, mighty job. A mighty job. And you're being called, I'm being called to do it right here and now. So Reverend Dr. William Barber had this to say: not saying something is not an option. You can't see injustice and say nothing. You can't see an abuse of human beings because of their race, their creed, their sexuality, and not say something. The prophetic call demands that we say something. How will the haters learn that they're wrong unless they learn of God's love? How do people learn? If they just continue on their lives and no one calls them out on their hate and ask questions, why? Help me understand. I want to understand your point of view. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. Our journey, our spiritual journey is my spiritual journey alone. Yours is your spiritual journey. We're all doing it at different rates. If I show up and I be the love and let God flow through, in, and as me, it's catching. It's like one of those things at the holiday where people stand up and they're like, oh, or a kid wants, years ago when I was a teenager, was, what were those dolls? The Cabbage Patch. Everybody wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. It became this raving sensation where people were going out of their way to try to find these dolls to give them to their kids. What would it be like if love was the same way? If people came forth and said, oh my gosh, I want what you have. How do I get it? What would it be like if being God's love and being and stepping into our values and being that took off like a sale of the Cabbage Patch dolls? It would be awesome. So, if God is sending you into a rebellious nation, is there anything, do you see obstinate and stubborn people out there? Are you obstinate and stubborn? Because remember, what you see in a person is God reflecting back to you. So sit with that. Are you being obstinate and stubborn? Are you afraid of what might happen? Fear is a big thing. And to be able to face that fear and walk through that and have the experience when you get to the other side and go, wow, I'm so thankful for that lesson. Most of the time it doesn't happen right away. But I am so thankful because I know that I walked through that. I didn't let it stunt my growth. I didn't let myself become stagnant because I was afraid to step forth. We're here to love, not to hate. We are here to do our part, for we have been called into action. Share your voice. Share your love. Teach these teachings where it's about love, because we know that love heals. Love is the answer, and love heals. And just as our affirmation, I'm going to put it up on the screen again. I am and will stand for love in this world. No matter who is listening, I am listening and I am engaged. I am doing my part to change the world. I'm doing my part to change the world into a world that works for everyone. I continue that work. I continue it, I continue it, I continue it. Now, I am not suggesting that everyone needs to go out and be an activist and carry a sign and go protest. If that is something you're being called to do, yes. If you're not being called to do it, yes. There are things that you can do to use your voice and speak up to those injustices. And it can happen one person at a time. So we just elected a president, and whether or not you voted, you support the winner or you don't, it's still our president of the United States. And we need to remember that the consciousness of people have risen up and spoken. That's one thing about this election that I'm in awe of, is to see how many people went to vote. How many people wanted their voices heard. Their choices counted. Some people stood in line for 7 hours. Or some of us just filled out our ballot and walked across the way and dropped it in the bin. But people are awakening. People are waking up and saying, this is not what I want my country to be and look like. So there's an example how we're moving forward. We are all connected. All connected. Talk about it all the time. That you're my brother, my sister, my sibling. Whether I have the same belief as you or not, that we are all connected. We were all born from that one thing that radiates love. And it's time for us to open our minds and our hearts back up, to open them as wide as we can, to be that vessel for people to come forth and say, I want to be healed. I want to lay down the hate. And I want to learn about love. That's where we're headed. That's where we do our work every day. And I'm so glad that you're on this journey of learning about the science of mind and actually taking the teachings out into the world. Ernest Holmes said that he doesn't want somebody to just recite the book back at him, but to actually see someone with their feet in action, working the principles, teaching the principles out there. And as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Start there, be that, and move one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. We can change the world. We can change a world where it works for everyone. Please know that you're loved and that you're honored and you're seen here at the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. So now it's time for prayer. So get your feet on the ground. Get in a place where you can take a deep breath. Open your eyes, close your eyes, whatever works for you, because prayer works all the time either way. Just get comfortable. Join me and take a deep breath. And another deep breath. Let it go. One more time. Deep breath in. And let it go. Oh, I am so blessed to be here and right now in the moment. And I know that I am and will stand for love in this world. No matter who is listening, I am listening and I am engaged. I speak that affirmation out with the full use of my voice as I speak it out in the world. And I know that right here, right now, Spirit, God is listening. Everything spoken or thought is being acted upon. And I know that God is love, that God wants the best for each and every one of us, that the goodness is available for us to open our eyes and receive it, to open our arms and receive it. The other thing that I know, that each one of us has been born from that thing, that we too have God running through in and as us, that we were born with all of the qualities of God, and it is our job to say yes and embrace it, to say that I live in a world where there's nothing but love. And I say it and I speak it and I move it and I am it. That is us raising our consciousness as we go through. And we come more and more in tune with that knowing that we come from the one, that we are the one, that there is only one. I am so grateful to have my beloved running through in an asthma. I am so grateful to be able to recognize the beauty, to recognize and be the compassion, to be a compassionate conduit in the world, to be that connection place with someone who's polar opposite view with someone else, that I am that living, breathing conduit where change happens. So I know right here and right now that everyone has the relationships that they desire. That whatever I put into my relationships shines back to me. So I have loving, compassionate, beautiful relationships. And I know that all of my needs, all of your needs in this right moment, right here and right now, all our needs are met. That the universe is abundance. I awaken to that abundance, and I know that abundance as truth. As truth, as it's running through me. Whether it's a rose or a dollar bill, it is all spiritual and it is all God. So I just let the natural flow of good reign over me. And I accept it and say thank you. And what I know for our body temples, that our bodies are brilliant mechanisms, that they know how to work. If they have to figure out a new way to do something, our body is smart enough to figure it out. And that we are living the life that we want to live. And that if we have something going on in our bodies that needs attention, we go to the doctor, we take the aspirin, God is in all of the medicine too. So I bring all the resources forth. I bring all the truth, I bring all the justice, I bring all of it. As much as I can hold into my being and into my life. For I want to live the best life. I am living my best life. My good is my God and my God is my good, as Emma Curtis Hopkins stated so beautifully. It is good. I live a great life. I am taken care of. Spiritually, it's there for my taking. And I can't take too much because you cannot outgive spirit. So take it all in and watch as your life begins to flourish even bigger and better than you ever thought it could. Your relationships are bountiful. No issue with money. The abundance is overflowing. And our body temples are being tended to. So for that, I am grateful. I am grateful for this teaching. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for me. And in that gratitude, I simply release these words into the law because I know Spirit only says yes. And in that yesness, I claim it. I know it. It is true right here and right now. And join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Now it's time for conscious giving. If you have your gift ready today, great. If you have an amount in your mind that you will be sending, please hold that in your mind right now. And then cup your hands together. And then intentionally, we're going to blow that amount into the cup of our hands. I'm giving this gift today to the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. I'm giving this gift to continue the ministries here at the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living. And I give this gift freely. This is my spiritual home. And this is the teaching that guides my life in a better direction. So join me by placing your hands on your heart and join me in saying the affirmation. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my good with life, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. One more time. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my good with life, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And if you are wondering how you can give to the Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living, we have multiple ways. First, you can send your gift or tithe to our P.O. Box 2360, Camarillo, California 93011. You can do the text to give option where you dial a phone number that is just Camarillo Center for Spiritual Living, and it will prompt you, how much do you want to give? And lastly, you can use PayPal. We are grateful for the gifts that you send. It helps us to continue our ministries going. If you have any questions, please call us at the office at 805-484-1137. Bless.
Oh, it has been wonderful to be with you today. Thank you, Reverend Kristin, for that wonderful message, and thank you, beloved practitioners, for always holding us in the heart of prayer. So let's celebrate by singing this song together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now, through you. Definitely. Here we go. Come on, let's dance. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Something wonderful. It's happening through my mind. It's happening through my body. Right here in my heart. I let it be. Something wonderful. Something wonderful. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening through you right now. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening through you right now. Something wonderful. It's happening through our minds. It's happening through our bodies. Right here in our hearts. We let it be. Something wonderful. Something wonderful. Something wonderful. Something wonderful.